race day, and welcome to coverage from Chicagoland Speedway. Happy Thursday night to you. We welcome you again to the No Limit Racing Extreme Graphics Next Gen Cup Series. And tonight, we're in the Windy City, the mile-and-a-half D-shaped track, Chicago. I'm Wesley Outland. Steve Tucker is alongside. Steve, we're ready for 200 miles, 134 laps around the virtual Windy City of Chicagoland.
Ooh, yes, we are, sir, and we're not going to waste any time right here with it, too. Right now, we're going to be under here. Chicagoland's a lot of fun. There's no straight part of this track. The backstretch, unique fact, is all curves, so pretty cool stuff. Look at this, though. Christopher Tate on the pole today. Brandon Fernaffel in P2. A lot on the line here today. Already getting into the midseason action.
Yeah, gotta like the Chicagoland Speedway. The field will be getting ready to come down for preliminary laps, and that'll let us give the starting lineup very, very quickly. On the pole, fast time, Christopher Tate, Brandon Fernaffel alongside, as Steve mentioned, Matthew Taylor, Robert Kahn making up row number 2. Row number 3 will find Barrett Morton, followed by Chris Taylor, Quentin Lee, Grant Peterson to row 4. Row 5 will find Chris Muth, as well as Matthew Correa, top 10. Dingler Tucker, Knighton Smith Long, top 15. Lovett, Muscarella, Ellis, Paris has just jumped in the box, followed by also Wolf, Ellis, Rainwater, top 20. Mock, Hamilton, Terrell, Montgomery, Wirtz, Plovger, followed by Rhodes, Castor, Ruzzi, Barrier, Loudison, Eliza Indriani, Hall, Caston. Boy, there's a lot of drivers here tonight. A 40-plus car field ready to go racing here. Hall, Caston, Hotspiller, Daly Coates, Brandon Ish, Matt Cherry, Brandon Unger, Austin Cooper. 43 drivers ready to go at Chicagoland, and your eyes are not deceiving you. We were supposed to have been at Martinsville. That all changed at the last minute. We'll give you a little bit more details on that, but right now we're ready to go. No Limit Racing, 200 miles, 134 laps, and we are green in the Windy City of Chicago. Getting it started. Let's see what happens. Hopefully we won't have a lot of cautions. Right? I mean, that's the positive thing, Steve.
I mean, yes, sir, but look at this. Almost 3 wide right here entering turn 2 already.
Damn, I spoke too soon. What were we going to say, Steve? I'm sorry.
We're just 3 wide already, man. We're just, light the fires, right? And right now, look at this, coming down pit road, a couple of penalties early on. We got to keep in mind, too.
Yeah, to start the race, the 0-5, the 23, and the 00, all serving pass-through penalties to start the event after causing cautions at the last race last week. They must serve a penalty under the green flag. So that right there is why you're seeing the 00, the 0-5, and the 23 hitting the pit lane. Best to just go ahead and get it over and done with.
That's right.
That's, by the way, Noah Rainwater, the 0-5, the 00, Victor Pfluger, and the 23 is driver Austin Smith. We're in the opening laps here at Chicagoland. And Christopher Tate right now out in front. Watch all these guys working their way around the racetrack. And a little antsy at first there, Steve, a little 3 wide, but they finally got patient, and they're finally working their way around the racetrack, kind of broken away from 3 wide action. Well, not for long. Here we go again.
Yeah, they sure are. And this is a unique track because the high line up against the wall does work pretty well. The tires do wear out a little bit more up there on the right fronts, but it can be pretty quick. Think Kansas, right? How that track is very high dependent, high lane dependent. This is kind of the same thing. It's going to be a daytime race, obviously, right now, so it might not work as well. The grip levels might not be up there, but they're going to still try.
Working off of turn 4, by the way, Chicagoland Track Dimensions, located just outside of the Windy City in Joliet, Illinois. This is a 1.5-mile racetrack, 2.41 kilometers. Of course, the D-shaped oval. Back straightaway is, our front stretch is 2,400 feet, 55 feet wide, 11 feet of banking. 11 degrees of banking, my apologies. The back straightaway is 1,700 feet long with 5 degrees of banking, and exactly in turn number 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, Steve, 18 degrees of banking. Width of the racetrack, 55 feet wide. Apron width is 27 feet. Point being, all those numbers, all that telemetry, just basically lets our audience know this place is wide and they will take every advantage of this racetrack in the early going.
Yes, sir, and it's bumpy. That's the thing they don't tell you, right? It's big, it's wide, but it's bumpy. And right here, that can upset the cars quite a bit. The outside lane is a pretty gnarly bump entering turn 3, between 3 and 4. That can really upset the car if you're riding the high lane, but very, very fun nonetheless.
We're getting started here on race day. Again, big thanks to you joining us, you and yours, and ready to roll for this event. Again, now, Steve, can you elaborate more on this? We've been advertising, obviously, the schedule was saying tonight we were supposed to be at Martinsville. What changed, do you think?
Well, honestly, I just think they called it honorable, right? I mean, we don't want to see caution-filled races, bottom line. So Martinsville, let's just call it how it is, right? That track is great. It's classic. It's an old-school track, but, man, yellow flags just breed yellow flags there, and especially in iRacing, that can happen a lot. So it looks like they decided to make a call and come here to Chicagoland, 1.5-mile track, a bit safer, and hopefully some better racing, and here we go. So far, not bad, 8 laps in.
Isaac Mock right now, the points leader here over Brian Works, Matt Cherry, Dalton Tucker, top 5. That's the way it stands currently. Of course, Mock with a win, along with Works. 2 wins for Dalton Tucker, 1 win for Christopher Tate. He's trying to be the 2-time winners club. And right now, he is the man that leads the way. But not for long, Matthew Taylor now getting up in front to make something happen here. And obviously that 44 Dubby Energy car right now making a pretty good run around the racetrack here as he's, of course, got Matthew Correa. It's the Matthew show as we're coming up on lap number 10 in the early going at Chicagoland there, Steve.
Yes, sir. Hey, I was at Fenway Park on Tuesday night, Wesley. And
the Red Sox.
Yes. For the Sox game, I stayed all the entire time, 12 innings, walked it off in the bottom of the 12th.
Heck yeah, man.
Could not love it. But I'm saying that because this Build Submarines machine here, they have the Build Submarines painted on the third base and first base lines. And just funny, I can't escape the RFK looking cars, Build Submarines, but cool stuff. Maybe think of that night on Tuesday. Very, very fun.
Isn't that awesome? Build Submarines. I mean, you just get sponsors for anything. Build Submarines out there. So glad that you had fun there. You're a Boston Red Sox fan, right? Are you not?
Yes, sir. Born and raised Boston, Mass, and we love it.
Go.
Kind of spoiled, right?
I like my Boston Red Sox too. I live in the South, and people say, "Why the hell do you like Boston?" But I'm a Boston Red Sox fan, but I also like the Atlanta Braves. And I was kind of torn last week. I don't want to go off subject of the race, but I'm a lover of all sports, Steve. I broadcast all sports. I was kind of torn because I'm a big Braves fan, but I'm also a Red Sox fan, and I'm a more Red Sox fan than Braves fan, and they've had some pretty bad years most recently for Boston, but hopefully they could turn it around. But normally when they play the Braves or the Red Sox, I'm kind of like, what is that word? I'm Switzerland.
You're torn,
right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, even if you're
Taylor out in front. What were you saying? Go ahead.
Yeah, just real quick. I mean, even if you're not a Red Sox fan, as a baseball fan in general, I mean, Fenway Park is just super cool, old school, right? And hey, Fenway kind of works hand in hand with racing, right? I mean, RFK, the F in RFK is Fenway, so it's pretty cool. Nice to see.
What
baseball
a big minute what a big moment for Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing to win. Brad Keselowski in the Goodyear 400 at Darlington last, of course, Sunday afternoon. Happy late Mother's Day to all the moms out there, by the way, the moms of the world. Hope you enjoyed it and enjoying this one. Right now, closing in on about 15 laps into this thing. The interval is 31.496. The fast man on the track is the driver up in front, Matthew Taylor. Christopher Tate has fallen off to about the top 5 now. That's the man, of course, right now that is leading in the battle Isaac Mock of the points championship. But let's try to take a look at where Isaac Mock is right now. Isaac is about mid-back in the burnt rubber motorsports entry, just kind of hanging in the top 20. And that's what you got to do.
Yeah, that's the thing, right, Wesley? It's not about necessarily, race wins all the time or top fives. It's just consistency, in whatever that means, right? So Isaac Mock, very, very consistent, always up to the front somehow, and here he is. Clean races, no wreck in the car, keep the fenders on it, and he does that, man.
Steve, I'm also a hockey fan, and if you know the playoffs are going on, the battle for Lord Stanley Cup, and I am watching the Hurricanes in the background as well as calling this event. So right now, Carolina up in front by 1. I know you kind of said, ooh, you're talking about your Boston Bruins, aren't you?
But man, we're in shambles up there. I don't know what's going on. We won that game. What was that, game 5?
They were doing so good.
Hey, you know what? We still have the Celtics. We're bringing a parade to Boston, baby, and it's going to happen. So I'm feeling good about that.
Right. When all else fails, fresh tactics, right? So, all right. So here we go. Taylor up in front, guys. He's the leader. Matthew Carrera in second. Chris Muth Jr. third. Tate is fourth, and Dakota Long the top 5. That's the way it stands right now, with everybody still kind of single file around the racetrack. 17 laps completed when they come off turn 4. And right now, these guys got a little bunched up at the start here on the 1.5 miles, but right now all they're doing is, and Carolina just scored again. I love it. 2-goal lead now on the Rangers. But I will say this, though, as I had my squirrel moment, everybody just kind of got spread out, Steve, and they're just holding their line and staying in position, and good racing going on right now, dude. This is what we need to see.
Yeah, this is racing, right? This isn't pacing. Right now, this is racing at its finest. And this is one of these things, right? Right now, we're at about halfway of our fuel run, give or take right now. But again, tires, in my mind, is kind of a higher priority. This place is kind of a cheese grater, Wesley. The tires wear out pretty quick. Not as much as like a Darlington or things like that, but it is pretty rough out there. So these guys, looking at the front right now, Christopher Tate, Dalton Tucker, these guys might be sitting, 4th and 5th. But I promise you, they're not there because they want to be. They're there because they're holding on to their tires, maybe even saving some fuel.
Solid run right now for all these guys that are on the racetrack, obviously, and working perfectly off the corner. It's Matthew Taylor, Matthew Correa, Chris Muth Jr., followed by Christopher Tate, Dalton Tucker. By the way, we kind of mentioned some of the names in the point standings and where they are and where they're at with wins and races. Isaac Mock, obviously, with the points lead currently coming into tonight's race. He's got a 112-point lead over Brian Wirtz. And another thing I got to mention as well, we're heading into the playoffs very soon in about another 3 more races, if you will, Steve. And right now, the cutoff line is Matt Lovett, only 28 back to Travis Daly. So we're taking only a dozen. Right now, you've got drivers that I think with virtues of wins, they're in. But right now, the 11 drivers are from Bach to Caston, separated by 305 points. And you got to remember, those points reset when we go to the run for the championship.
That's right. I mean, and even right now, this battle right here with Brian Wirtz, again, he won a couple weeks back, keep in mind, Watkins Glen. Right now, though, 21st place. Didn't get the qualifying effort he wanted to, but again, it's just all about patience today, getting those tires, saved, and be better on the longer runs. So we'll see where he ends up today at the end of this. But 22 laps in, about 15 laps away here from green flag pit stops.
Race day coverage tonight, of course, from Chicagoland. I'm Wesley Outland, Steve Tucker alongside. He's also the man that makes this broadcast look good with the pictures and the video images and the sound and the roar of the cars and all that noise. Hold on there, Taylor. Oh, falling back by the wayside. Taylor's car is a little bit. Tucker now going after it. Tate on the outside. All this going on here. Boy, what a battle.
That was close for your leader right there, Matthew Taylor. Got a little loose on a turn 4, I believe. Matthew Correa took advantage, but look at this battle here for P2. Starting to show up now.
Watching this off the corner down to the inside. Here comes that man of that 21 car. There's Dalton Tucker. Okay. Whoa. Tucker, just talking about him. Almost got into the 29 of Dakota Long and even the 5 of Chris Muff Jr. Now they finally get a little break away from one another. That's good. Keep on going. Keep on doing that. But I was going to say about Tucker, though, honestly, you know, he's a guy that's been so strong, but just has not been able to break through with wins lately. Now, he's got 2 wins on the year, but honestly, the last couple of races, you would think he'd be the Pied Piper, and then all of a sudden, something happens in the later stages of the race.
Yeah, you know what, though? That just speaks volumes about the field here, right? I mean,
oh, yeah.
Obviously, you know, having one driver win every race, I mean, that just shows dominance, but it's very clear that this field is extremely competitive. Anybody can win, and we have different winners every week. So, great competitive field as we see a lead change right here. Chris Tate, Matthew Correa.
There's Tate, that man right now 8th in the points. He does have a win earlier this year, of course. The driver with 4 top 5s and 4 top 10s making a run to the inside. There's Tate. Matter of fact, he's the most recent winner. Did he win last week?
He sure is, yep.
Yeah, but the day my memory goes, I'm going to retire. But if I can't remember something from 7 days ago, I'm in trouble. But, yeah, Tate's coming off of that momentum swing and coming off of the win, and you want to keep winning. Obviously, that's a nice way of saying it.
Just kissed the wall right there, too, on a turn 4. Got to be careful with that. This track is aero-dependent, so you cannot beat the fenders off of this car. Didn't hurt him too much, but...
By the way, Steve, lap traffic is up in the front of the leaders here in just a minute. Remember those 3 drivers we forementioned? They had penalties for the previous race. They had to take that penalty after New Hampshire. We have Tucker Rhodes, Kyle Hall. I'm sorry. It's Victor. Rainwater, Hall, Smith, Plager. All these guys are on the midst of... getting ready to go a lap down as the leaders are about to overtake them.
Yeah, and this is worst case scenario for those guys, right? Because no yellow so far. We're most likely going to hit green flag pit stops here in about 5 laps or so, depending on how much they've saved on fuel. Dalton Tucker is right there, though, going for that P1.
You saw the glimpse of that car just in the rear view or the front view mirror of the driver, the leaders. Right now, Tucker and Tate battling side by side for the lead into turn number 1. Tucker down to the inside. Tate gives him plenty of room. He's on the left rear of the driver door. Here comes Correa and Muff and Long, top 5. And there you see those cars slowly but surely in the view of the leaders. That's lap traffic, or the tail end of lap traffic, if you will.
Yeah, we're seeing some great racing right here. All of this for the top 5, really almost the top 10 is all battling together here.
Hey, by the way, don't forget, sometime tonight, about halfway, lap 67, which will be 100 miles into it, we will be drawing for another IMB Racewear gift certificate. That's a $25 gift card from IMB Racewear. And, well, the boss, Brandon, said, Wesley, you and Steve do what you want to do, and I think we'll just stick to random number generator. Honestly, it's fair. What you need to do right now, if you're in the chat box, thanks for those that are watching, hit NLR. That's NLR. And, let us know who you are, NLR, in the chat box, and we will do random number generator. I think I'm going to try to cue up a little game show music theme in the background at halfway. What do you think there, Steve?
Maybe.
Have you play some of your intense music that you like to play on restarts? I like that. Was that?
Just turn the volume up. Let's get the energy up right now. Love that.
Turn up a radio. Yes, sir. All right, Tate, Tucker, Long. Sounds like lyrics to an 80s song. I think it is. Yes, it is. Long, Correa, Cod, Front Apple. I think I'm unveiling how old I am, Steve. Sorry about that.
I think, honestly, I know what song you're talking about, actually. I think it's, was that White Snake? Who is that?
Turn up the radio.
Yeah.
I don't think it's White Snake.
It's something like that, though.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it here. Is it Autograph? The band Autograph? I think it's the band Autograph.
I think you're right, actually.
Yeah. Well,
that.
I used to work in radio for, a pretty good time. And Carolina scored again. Yeah, sorry. Squirrel moment again. Calling the race much of hockey. So
we're off the rails. We're off the rails, folks.
By the way, the Red Sox are playing tonight, aren't they? Ain't Boston playing?
Honestly, I have no idea. But it's all. Oh, the Celtics might be. Oh no, the Bruins. Excuse me.
Boston Red Sox are playing. Who are they playing?
It should be Tampa, I believe, but I'm not.
They're playing Tampa, and they're
sure.
losing. They're losing. That's all I'm gonna tell you. They're losing. They're losing. Sucks. They're losing. Oh. All right, here we go to the inside. There's the 14 of Con, and Korea right there alongside. Hey, in that chat box, don't forget, put in NLR for No Limit Racing. Thanks to all of our other sponsors, including IMB Racewear, Butt Kicker, Extreme Graphics, No Limit Racing, and Race Day, Powder Coat Plus. Everybody that makes it happen right now. So, yeah. Thank you. And thank you to our audience for tuning in as well. I had somebody messaged me out of the random. Oh, well, wait a minute. Hold that thought. We got green flag pit stops here in the early going. Maybe these guys are going for the undercut on the lead lap cars. But right now, they're coming on pit road here now, Steve.
They sure are, yeah. This is the time. Right now, we're at that 35 lap mark. We're going to start to see green flag pit stops here between 35 and 40.
That's right.
Battle for the lead, though, too, at the same time. So these boys going to figure it out pretty soon here.
Side by side, this is a battle going on for that top spot. You've got Tucker, Tate, alongside one another again. Long watching on. There's Taylor on pit road. There goes some more cars onto the pit lane. Love it, Cherry and more. Whoa, one guy almost way over the apron and missing the cone, but he committed to the pit lane. There's the 55 on pit road. Mock is on pit road. All of this going on now with green flag pit stops. I was going to say between 35 to 45 laps will probably be the pit window here when we see these guys. And other ones are right now going for that undercut, if you will.
Yeah, they sure are. And right now, the leaders aren't coming down. This is when, if I'm in anywhere in that top 10, I'm pitting when the leaders do. I don't want to be out there any later, but obviously that shortcut does help here, the undercut, just because the tires will be fresh for a couple laps while these leaders are still trying to figure it out. So this could be pretty big for guys, maybe, top 10 or so who pit early. No one else coming down. Grant Peterson now coming back from 8th place. This should bring in a lot of guys.
Ryan Dingler, Barrett Morton, Hank Caston, Sean Lodison is on pit road. By the way, I understand I finally had to get his name right. It's not Lodison, it's Lodison. So, and I guess we all both got tired of butchering, what's his name? Brandon Inchicon's name. And he just said, just call me Brandon Ish.
Yes.
So that's Inchicon or whatever. Itchconian, Itchcanian, I don't know. Brandon Itch. Look, I challenge anybody. If you think you can do a good job with the broadcast here than me, please take my spot, okay? or Steve as well. Yeah. So,
yeah, email me. Look at this battle, though, Wesley. Look at this P1 right here. They're battling side by side. I thought we're supposed to pit here soon, Wesley. Oh, they're door banging each other down the backstretch. What is this about?
You got to warn how worn out these tires could be, too, and they're just going at it like gangbusters here. Coming off the corner. Now Tucker says, I've had enough. You win. You win round one, buddy. He's on pit road.
Man.
There you go. That was smart. That was actually kind of smart. And now you're literally going to let the guy Tate here wear his car out because they're working lap number 39. And like I said, somewhere between 35 and 45 laps is where I was thinking the window of them coming down to the pit lane. I'm thinking, honestly, you could probably pit 3 times in this race if it's green flag runs like they're wanting, which is, by the way, the reason why they decided not to run at Martinsville. Boo. I like Martinsville. I like Martinsville. I like the paperclip.
Yes, sir. Yeah, right now, though, I mean, Christopher Tate's still out here. This could be a smart move. If he has enough fuel, he thinks, to go 3 stops, like you said, that's a pretty wise decision because we're seeing long green flag runs, obviously, knock on wood, and that right there could mean a lot for him to get less pit stops. Right now coming down, it looks like he's slowing down a bit. This might be it for our leader here coming down pit road.
Here comes Tate, and behind him, more cars. Robert Kahn, all on pit road. This looks like it's going to put now Alex Muscarella in the 48 machine right there at the line. And that Lowe's Cobalt, Jimmy Johnson, Alex Bowman, whatever name you want to be, throwback. He is the new man out in front again. Well, I mean, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I mean, when Jimmy Johnson was good back in the day. And right now it's like, oh, man. Look, I was on a radio show I was telling somebody, and I'm like, the Jimmy Johnson that we all know is the 7-time champion, 90-some-odd Winston Cup wins, he's ruining his legacy, in my opinion. You're going to ride off in the sunset. And I know he's with Legacy Motor Club and blah, 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 and all that, but it's just, man, I've been to the races this year, and I've seen them, and with Jimmy Johnson just starting and parking or just not having good equipment, it's like, let's just say, for instance, you got the kids of today and you got the daddy or the mommy or somebody guarding and saying, hey, man, there goes Jimmy Johnson, 7-time champion. That man used to, definitely be a dominator. And then he gets involved in an accident or he comes on pit road 30, 40 laps in because he isn't competitive enough. And the kid's like, Dad, I thought you said he was a 7-time champion.
Yep.
And,
exactly.
I mean, look, I could be wrong, to each their own, but in my opinion, if you're going to retire right off in the sunset, or if you are going to come back, be as competitive as you were like Michael Jordan was, right? When he left, he came back, and kicked butt, took names, yeah.
I was just about to say, it's kind of like when Jordan went back to the Wizards, it's just doesn't have that same feel to it, right? And
what did Jordan do? He said, I have to retire. It's time for me to go. It's time for me to go. It's just time for me to go. So, hey, I only see 2 people putting NLR in the chat box. You will be random number generator drawn at halfway, just about 20 laps from now, for a chance to win a $25 gift card from IMB Racewear. Hey, by the way, we are in our race day subscriber only mode. The way you do that is hit that subscribe button, let the little bell ring if you want to keep the bells and whistles and more when we go live. 4 wide, by the way, just a moment ago at the front straightaway. All this craziness going on here. And here comes now Johnson on pit road. Here comes Muscarella on pit road. Capital NLR in the chat box. Hit NLR. And about 20 laps from now, we are going to be halfway, and we will be drawing another name and a winner. Right now, let's do it. Here we go. It is Chicagoland. He's Steve Tucker. I'm Wesley Outland. And there you go. Your BuildSubmarines.com entry. By the way, I just want to say this. Steve, Build Submarines is actually building submarines like Navy submarines, right? You know this, right? It's not submarine sandwiches. I had somebody tell me that was what it was. Build submarines, I can make my own sandwich. No, that's not right.
So I like the
it's
idea
literally submarines.
Like
hey, I could go for a hoagie, a hero sandwich.
Yeah, like an online sub creator. That'd be great. Then it gets shipped to you.
Man. Jersey Mike's. Oh my God, yeah. Okay, with some Jersey Mike's, and here we go now. Right where they left off, I think, without Tate. This is now Korea. And Korea battling alongside with Tucker, man. Here we go again. I don't want to sound like a repetitive broken down record on repeat, but I'm on replay. And I'm telling you, though, Steve, week in, week out, that 21 car of always Dalton Tucker, we see how good he is. And then something happens in the late rally to take him out of contention. It always happens that way. You know that.
It sure does. But right now, though, I don't know, man. Right now, we're seeing some long green flag runs. This is great to see, I will say. And a great change of pace.
It is. Definitely. Green caution. Wesley skipping out of town before the race is officially over. So, which I do have to leave in about the next hour. You know that I have other iRacing obligations, but that's coming down to the end of the year, man. I can tell you that much. I think we're down to like 3 weeks left for the series that I do on Thursday nights at 9:30, and I'll finally be able to join you for the whole shebang, if you will, as they call it, the whole ball of wax. As Tucker works off turn 4, he is the man out in front. Correa, Penderson, Muth, Paris, and here's something I just saw at the end of the cycle of green flag pit stops. Steve Tucker. We're seeing new names up in the top 5. Yeah, a couple of repeat guys, but man, good new names up here. And I love that Peterson car. I love that High Rock Vodka Landon Huffman NASCAR throwback.
Very clean job right there for sure. And yeah, to your point, some names up here, again, like Peterson's one of them, who we haven't necessarily seen him up at the front in races past, but look at this, top 3 for him, working on second place. This is impressive.
Yes, it is, man. What a sharp drive. All this going on the racetrack right now, but a move they're making, no doubt. So we watch the 21 continuing to stay out in front, of course. That's our man there, Dalton Tucker, and the 2. Battle there for a moment by Lee to the inside. A little loose there for a moment. Here comes Peterson, Korea battling. Ford and a couple of Fords going at it. Cross the line here. Toyota and Ford, actually.
This is what green flag pit stops do, Wesley, right? It changes the overall nature of the race. Going to get a lot more spread out. A lot of drivers that, hey, they might not have raw speed, right? But they have the ability to save the tires, conserve, and things like that. And you find them in the top 5, top 10 doing their thing. And right now we're seeing that for sure.
And mad props to these guys. We've literally, I'm not even going to say it. I don't want to jinx anything. But what I was going to say is you've got over 40-plus drivers on this racetrack all at one time, and to be able to be where we're at right now, just about to hit 100 miles in this race, and it seems like we just came on the air not even a half hour ago. That's really good for these guys, and just a lot of respect being given to a lot of guys on this racetrack. A lot of patience here in the early going. You want to be there at the end. You want to have a fast car. You want to be the guy in P1. You want to be the guy we brag about. But honestly, Steve, get to the end of the race. To first win the race, you must first finish. And get your chess pawns and pieces in line. Get to the first half. Get this first 100 miles out of the way, and then that second 100 miles, and I would say probably the last 50 miles, that's when you declare checkmate on the field and you start making your run to the front.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
By the way, if you'd like to know more about No Limit Racing, Extreme Graphics, or Race Day, follow us, of course, on the world of, what is it, at Race Day iRacing?
That's right.
Yeah, there you go. And, of course, Extreme Graphics and No Limit Racing, as well, is on Facebook. Right now, working off the corner, it's still Tucker out in front. Here's another battle heated up for position, going off into the turn. This is, of course, I believe, for 19th and 20th place. This is Hank Caston, Alec Coates going at it there for just a moment. By the way, highest climber of the race so far is now 14 spots. That, of course, up in the front of the leaders is Nathan Paris. The overall fastest, highest climber is, I believe, 21 positions on the racetrack, and that is the driver of Travis Daly. He just dropped back to 19th, back up to 20th. And the man that's lost the most spots of this race is Austin Smith. What a tough break for him, back in that 37th spot.
Some great racing back here, Wesley, for 32nd spot right here, man. Look at this, 4 or 5 cars right here, 6 really under a blanket. Racing can happen anywhere. And this is pretty good stuff right here. Ooh, the 37 hits the wall.
They're putting on a good one, boy. Inside, give him room, give him plenty of room. To the inside, there's the 55 car. There's the man. Hold on to it, my friend. Little sideways for just a moment. Little guy was dirt tracking it here for a minute. Grant Peterson with a problem. Grant Peterson has fallen back big time, guys. Something happened to the 54. And Peterson now, I think he's got a blinking issue. I think that's something we're watching here, Steve. He's popping and blinking and coming back, and now he's back to second again.
Yeah, a couple guys are scoring tower. Sorry, folks, just went kind of haywire there. Yeah, that'll happen if they pop in and out because of internet connection. It'll do that. So, but here's a pretty familiar spot.
Yes, sir. By the way, this is round number 7 of the season, and if you'd like to know more about No Limit Racing, you can follow them online at NLRleague.com. That's NLRleague.com. Details on the points, the schedule, rosters, about the series, how you can apply for the new upcoming season, and so much more. That is, again, NLRleague.com. Working into 100 miles into this race in about another 7 laps. So we got a couple of cars tangling off the Brent back straightaway. What a save. Is that the driver, I believe it is?
Yeah, Travis Daly
the 15.
Right there.
Yeah, man, wow. At one time, he was the high climber of the race, and now Travis Daly is free-falling like the lyrics to the Tom Petty song. All the way back now to 24th, 25th spot. What a save, though, Steve. He kept it off the wall.
Yeah, he did, but, man, that was awful close. And right now we're starting to get to that point, right, where we're just about halfway. And, man, these tires, again, we're about almost halfway through that second green flag stint here. So it's going to get pretty crazy here. Tires going to get worn out.
We're at Chicagoland Speedway. I know a lot of people, I'll be honest with you, and I think Dale Jr. might have kind of got it started with that little kerfluffle he said on the Dale Jr. download the other couple of weeks ago. I think you might see NASCAR come back to Chicagoland. I really do.
Yeah.
I see it happening.
I mean, Chicagoland, and also, too, in my opinion, Rockingham. I mean, why not, right? They just repaved it. It looks like it's doing pretty well right now. Man, could you imagine that going back to the Rock?
I've announced at the Rock. As a matter of fact, I did the most recent race broadcast on radio at Rockingham. I was on the PA team whenever they brought it back with the NASCAR trucks in ARCA. And then, of course, the most recent race was not last summer, but 2 summers ago on July 4th weekend in 2022. And my radio network, CRN, broadcasted the race from Rockingham Speedway. And I'll just tell you, they're under new management, and there's a lot of people that agree to disagree, and I want to see Rockingham Speedway back open and do good with business as well. However, what I will tell you is this track cannot make it by just trying to do musics and concerts and stuff. They're just missing the boat, and that's the mindset they have now. I'm not saying that having a concert is wrong, but you need to find a way to get some racing stuff in there, and honestly, that's where their mind is not at right now, and it kind of sucks. But to answer your question, Steve, I'd love to see the Rock open back up again. Who wouldn't?
Yes, sir. Bring them all back. Oh, 16.
Whoa. Oh, hold on there.
Dingler going to be about 3 wide here. Peterson in the middle.
By the way, we're closing in on about 5 laps to the halfway mark of the race, and we will be doing random number generator. This is your last chance to hit that capital NLR before halfway. NLR will be drawing for that winner. 100. By the way, did we see track temp out there? Did you see that, Steve? 131 degrees track temp.
Yeah, that is hot, hot, hot right there, and that's going to make these cars slippery. And we're seeing it. They're having a hard time handling these vehicles right now.
I'm just surprised they're not crashing. With it being so hot, with the slick tires and all that on the race surface, I'm really surprised we haven't had any caution flags from that.
They're trying to. Right now, they're slipping and sliding and door banging and off the wall and off each other. It's getting pretty rowdy out there for sure. Yeah, folks, 19 folks in the chat. Really appreciate that. Only 3 typed in NLR. What is going on? All you got to do, NLR in the chat. You can get a $25 gift card here to IMB Racewear.
And you've only got 1 more lap to get your chance to put in there. You better make that last-ditch effort. By the way, Steve's making you do more work as well. You have to be a subscriber on race day, and then to be able to communicate and comment. And that's the catch. Yes, it just hit that little subscribe button right there alongside the name of the race. Below it, it says subscribe. Hit the little bell there, and then you can hit all, personalized, none, and you can just subscribe. There you go. That's how easy it is, and we will be drawing that number here in just a matter of seconds. As right now, it is still Dalton Tucker leading the way. Christopher Tate second. Nathan Parrish third. Matthew Correa is 4th. Dakota Long, Brandon Frontapple, Chris Muth, Grant Peterson, Robert Kahn, and even though he got in the wall earlier, Ryan Dingler, Steve, is currently in the top 10. 100 miles down, 100 miles to go, and dang it all, I don't want to jinx anything, but it has been calm, cool, collective here for the first 100 miles of the race. All right.
I mean, just great racing all around the track, and this is on old tires too, and old tires versus new tires, and everyone trying to hold on to their tires, and this is just awesome to see here. Top 10 battle is heating up for sure. Dingler right here. Man, really good stuff.
Loving it. I'm loving it, man. You're loving it. I'm loving it. We're all loving it. And right now it is time for random number generator here at Chicagoland Speedway. We'll count up the number here as we're halfway home, but it is time for random number generator. And how many people put their names in the chat box to be entered here for it, Steve?
A whopping 3.
3? Are you kidding me?
I wish I was.
Wow. All right, I'll tell you what, we're going to be nice, and I'm going to at least try to go to lap 75. Will that work? We're going to go to at least to lap 75 to try to get some more numbers, and if we do, then we'll draw that. So about 4 more laps. Got a handful of laps or less to try to get signed up, and then we're going to pull the trigger. Dalton Tucker is the man that leads the way. And Steve, we know he's got 2 wins this year. We know he's been really, really good in the season. But here's the deal, though, also, and I kind of hit it on it earlier. He does so well the last couple of races, and then something happens. Tire fall off, car goes away, handling happens, gets in the wall, gets caught up in an accident, not of his doing. But right now, he's hanging in to the lead, and he's in the top 5 in the points before the run to the playoffs.
Yeah, he's looking pretty locked in, Wesley, and right now 4 seconds above P2. That's extremely dominant so far. 72 laps into this race. I'll tell you what, that's huge. I just heard a car blow its engine. Hold on now. Who was that?
No. Uh-oh. Somebody in trouble off the pace. Is that the 33rd spot car? I think it is. The man that's in 33rd position, way off the pace.
There he is.
That's the driver of Cody Ellis. Cody Ellis with a problem, and he has spun to the bottom of the racing apron off of turn 4, entering onto the pit lane, and we might have a first retiree of the race with mechanical issues, and that's Cody Ellis in the 39 car. However, he stays below the racing surface, not on the track. No caution here.
No, we are good to go. Very good heads-up play by him. And man, this battle for 10th just keeps continuing.
Yeah, what a solid run. By the way, Brian Rusi and Austin Smith back on pit road again. You know, you got the guys in the drivers like the 00, of course, and the 30, the 23, the 05. They kind of put themselves in a hole early, being stuck with a penalty, and that really changed everything. And I can't believe this. Either the 17 is got a problem, Matthew Correa, or he is going for an undercut early, and he is pitting now already. And I got to say this, that pit window's got to be opening up here within the next 5 to 10 laps.
It's open right now because your leader, Dalton Tucker, just came down pit road. It's starting green flag pit stops again, round 2.
Last time everybody pitted was pretty much in a sequence between lap number 38 all the way, or actually lap 37 if you want to be honest, 36 if you want me to be honest with you. From lap 36 all the way to around 42 is whenever they came down to the pit lane. And honestly, you're seeing this same second sequence of pit stops going on here. All right, we're going to do random number generator. Did we get any more participants here at the last minute, Steve?
We did not, no.
Wow, that sucks. But the show rolls on. All right.
Let's do it, baby. It's all good.
So we have
we have 4 now. Joshua Neal, last second at the,
Joshua,
at the buzzer.
You're damn lucky. That's all I'm going to say. I was about to say we're closed. Registration is closed. All right, so random number generator, 1 to 4. All right, can't be that damn hard. Let's see what it's going to be. Ready? Okay, just tell me when you want me to stop. Tell me when you want me to stop, Steve. When you want me to stop.
Let's stop.
I even got my eyes closed.
No.
If you were the first person to put in NLR, you win. Courtney Barrier, you are the winner of the NLR IMB Racewear Challenge. All right, so $25 gift card coming your way. Contact Steve, contact Brandon Frontapple, contact somebody at No Limit Racing or Race Day to get your prize. I'm just the voiceover guy. I don't have nothing to do with being the guy that gives the prizes out. So,
yeah, I believe
you must be 21 or older to enter. Problem Getting Me helpline. Contact NLR.
Yeah.
No Limit Racing.
Hope is here.
All right. So we're rocking and rolling. Race rolls on. Green flag so far. Green flag pit stops time for take number 2. This shuffles everything back around to now the 29 of Dakota Long out in front. Brian Wirtz, man. Brian Wirtz having a pretty quiet night. He's climbed his way now up to the second spot in that number 82 car.
Yeah, well, keep in mind, though, he's P2 because he hasn't pit yet. So right now I think he's hoping for a caution flag to come out maybe and kind of get back that track position. He's not doing too terrible right now, but still pit. So this is, yeah, here he comes right now.
Yeah, I had a feeling he'd be coming down to pit road at some time here. So, I mean, actually, that sounds kind of stupid. Everybody's going to be coming down to pit road eventually. Everybody will be coming in. There's a nice-looking car right there, man. You know, not only am I the voice of Fast Track presented by Chevrolet Performance, and that's the Chevrolet Performance car number 29, but that's a nice-looking wrap job on that race car. I want to send this to Bill Martins from Chevrolet and say, hey, man, what do you think of this iRacing Chevrolet Camaro right here?
Looking pretty good. A lot of drivers up here in the top 3. Montgomery, Dakota Long leading his first laps. More takers right here, pit road.
So pit road open. Chicagoland is where we are. And again, they made that kerfluffle after the kerfluffle of kerfluffles last week with cautions. And yeah, by the way, kerfluffle is a real word. Look it up. And because of that, they decided to change the race and moving it to, the race tonight at Chicagoland. And I'm not saying that it's a bad idea here on race day, but I think me and Steve are looking forward to some bump and banging short track racing.
Yes, sir.
For sure. Yeah.
Always love that. Right now, Dakota Long comes down pit road, surrenders the lead, and Derek Castor is now your new leader. Plain white car. Somebody get a sponsor on that car, man. Looking pretty good, leading some laps, getting some airtime today on race day. Our boy can use a
green. Yes, sir, man. Let's put a little yellow on there. There's that Chevrolet car back onto the pit lane now. There's Castor now going to be the new leader. Long's on pit road, as I aforementioned. A couple more cars left to go, and it's going to shuffle back around to Tucker being the man up in the front again of the 21 car. 48, Muscarella back out there again.
Yeah, holding out hope that the yellow comes out, but man, this race has been really impressive. I'll tell you what, 43 cars, no yellow so far, all green flag. Great stuff. We love to see that here.
You're checking out race day, and of course, I hope you're enjoying the captivated, professional, and amazing commentary team of Steve and myself, and we bring you the action, drama, and excitement right to your screens weekly for the No Limit Racing Extreme Graphics Next Gen Cup Series. I challenge anybody to say that 3 times fast. I promise you'll get tongue-tied. And it is on race day iRacing as well on X to follow along. Steve, have you created a Facebook account yet? Race day? Have you
what a great race today so far, Wesley. Listen, anybody who's known me for long enough or who's watched the channel long enough knows I am in complete shambles most of the time. So,
all right.
It's all
okay.
We're getting there.
You need a media team. You need a marketing team. I
need a whole lot more.
Pro bono. Oh, single file, no problems whatsoever. And the man out in front again is Muscarella. But for how long, though? Because second place man Dalton Tucker is hot on his rear end, if you will, trying to run him down as they work off the corner of the rear end of the race car, pardon the pun, as he's going by some more lap machines, clearing by them, getting around them, and all of this going on. By the way, Grant Peterson, I believe, still having some techno issues there, a little popping, blinking, blinking nod, if you will, for the 54 High Rock Vodka, and then he pops back up into the top 10 again. Muth does the same thing, and you're on board with Muscarella. Let's watch him climb into that 18 degrees of banking here at Chicagoland, closing in, believe it or not, on lap number 86.
Hey, super interesting here, Wesley. He's actually clutching it in the corners. So he's trying to save the fuel right now. Look at this.
Yeah.
Hear that? He's going to try and go one more stop here.
Well, I told you I had a feeling that if you play your cards right, you could possibly make a 3-stop race in this event.
Yeah, and that's what he's doing right here. That's pretty big, because if he can pull that off, he's got a chance here under green flag. If it goes green the entire way, he'll pit here momentarily, and that might be it for him. So that's huge.
First off, Steve, if it goes caution-free the entire race, I'm going to yell Eureka coming to the checkered flag. Secondly, if I'm still here with you. And secondly, man, mad props to these guys, especially having a 43, almost 43 car field. And, man, getting around this racetrack, it got a little antsy, a little hectic right there on the start. But since then, dude, these guys have ridden and drive. And let's be honest here, and maybe that's the reason why NASCAR took Chicagoland off the list. And I don't want to make anybody upset by saying this, but this is what this track can primarily be known for. It is known for its long green flag runs and its strategy of late race pit stops and fuel strategy to determine the winner.
That's right. To your point, we're seeing it right now.
We are. Lap number 90 when they come to the line. Hey, let's step away real quick. Thank some sponsors. If anything changes, we'll break in, but we do got to thank our partners. They make it happen. We're back with more. This is coverage on race day. Stay with us. I can promise you that that's just to pay some bills for our sponsors on race day. We will not be, we might go caution-free or commercial-free for the remainder of the race, but we do thank all of the partners, and of course also thanks Powder Coat Plus, Extreme Graphics, Butt Kicker. Thank you also to No Limit Racing on race day. I'm Wesley Outlet, Steve Tucker alongside. Steve, we said if something can happen, we'd break in. There's no need to break in. There's no change in this race except Dalton Tucker putting the 21 back to the top spot again here in the virtual Windy City.
He sure is. He's looking pretty good still. 3 seconds of a lead, but it is cutting down a little bit. Christopher Tate in P2 is knocking that 3-second lead down just a little bit. 40 laps to go, though. It's going to be hard to really get him going here.
Yeah, laps are winding down as there is Tate. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Tate is saying that to Tucker, obviously, and we saw that battle between them earlier with another car when Tate was up in the front. And we'll see what he can do here. Tire fall off, and obviously conserving fuel consumption is going to be something drastically we're going to be watching here probably within the next 30 laps to the finish of this race, no doubt, because I really think a lot of these guys are going to try to push it to a two or three stop race, and that's it. You're going to see pit road open here probably about what, 105, 110. That's about it, and then they're going to run to the finish.
Yeah, it's, man, I'm telling you what, look out by the end of this race. If this thing stays green, watch out for Alex Muscarella. I just have a feeling he might be pulling that strategy where it just works out for him. We'll see. But also, too, Wesley, our points leader coming into this race, Isaac Mock in P9. A quiet day so far, but this is the consistency we're talking about, right? Just quiet and clean, getting himself those points that matter.
Alex Muscarella, lap 91 last time he came onto the pit lane, and that's where you're kind of referring to that efforts of maybe trying to roll the dice and race to the checkered flag. Most recent car onto the pit lane was on lap number 70 when pit stop started with Isaac Mock. And obviously, if you mention the name Isaac Mock, the reason why is that is the man that currently is in that stranglehold battle for the championship. He's leading the point standings over Brian Works, Matt Cherry, Dalton Tucker, who's on the racetrack leading right now, looking for his third win of the year. He's fourth in the points, and Noah Rainwater right now, the top five. Watching all these guys closing in on a century grind here at Chicagoland, and I got a feeling, Steve, it's going to amp up here. No doubt here, probably within the next 15 laps or so. I really think we're see that happen here. I know they're getting spread apart, but one wrong slip and you can see some craziness going on here.
I agree, and keep in mind too, this was worst case scenario for the drivers who had to pit and come down pit road, right, for that drive-through, because there's not been one yellow to come out to get them back onto that lead lap, right? So it's like it's just super tough. The 05, 23, and 00 all passed through penalties because of penalties from last week. So, you know, something you did last week, right, is still affecting you even now. It's
haunting you. It's haunting you now. It's haunting you because literally as we get ready to put lap 100 on the board, we have not had no caution flags whatsoever. And I think that, you know, maybe the race director or somebody was saying, hey guys, you know, hey, you know, you got to suffer this penalty at the start of the race, but don't worry, you'll get a caution, you'll get back in this thing again. That's hashtag fake news. That's not happened. And you got a guy like the 05, I'm just want to throw that out there, Noah Rainwater. This is a guy that's actually a pretty good contender. He's up in the point standings right now. What, up in the standings? I want to say he's in the top 5. Yes, he is in 5th. This is a bad night for the driver of that car way in the back. And of course, I think, you know, Victor gave up. He didn't even try to run the race in the 23 car. I mean, you know, he's climbing, but then he free falls whenever he pits and loses all that momentum for the 23 of Austin Smith. So there you go. I mean, it's kind of a damned if you do and damned if you don't. And those guys in the back are praying for a caution, but, you know, now they got to hope that they're on the lead lap if that happens.
Agreed. And right now we're looking at, not sure what happened here, but Christopher Tate is off the track right here. Looks like he's in the pits. Can't go to him actually, so he's out of this race seemingly right here. We'll see
maybe
if we can get word real quick. But
a timing issue, maybe popping in and out. What when they call that, net code maybe, or not syncing with the race, so he's blinking.
Yeah, we're gonna
Where
find
did he end up now? Tate's all the way back in 39th place. Wow.
Yeah, he was in P2, so we'll try and get that information from the eye in the sky here, see what happened with him. But man, heartbreak right there. But that's good news for Matthew Correa, Nathan Paris, and I can't say enough right now about Nathan Paris and these guys. Grant Peterson, look at this third spot right here for Nathan Paris in that Panto Racing Club number 75. Super impressive run today.
Yeah, I like that wrap job on that car for sure. Look at the 80 machine there, doing good as well. You're talking about him. I think he's some lap traffic, but I like that car. 29 up high. There's a problem there with the man that was leading earlier in the race, kind of falling back now. That's the driver, Dakota Long. He's back in the 7th spot now. My apologies, but he is not up in the front with the leaders. All the while, it is Dalton Tucker out in front. And guess what, Steve? 30 laps to go, man. We're at the home stretch of this race here now.
We sure are. It's going by pretty quick. We're already almost, actually a little past an hour into the race. This is exactly what we like to see here. Great racing. But this, I'll tell you what, Wesley, this is one thing that they don't tell you all the time, right? As a driver, this is tiring, right? 134 laps.
Oh, yeah, you're praying for a yellow flag just to be able to rest.
Exactly. So this is, you got to be on your A game the entire time. So right now, they just went an hour straight with 0 break. And yeah, this is tough. It comes down to attrition too, right? Not just your car, but also your body.
Isaac Mock, by the way, just coming onto the pit lane again. Money stop for him. Here comes now Brian Wirtz on pit road. He will give up his spot. So is Casey Knighton. So we're seeing guys. I kind of had a feeling between lap 105 to 115 they'll be coming onto the pit lane. And here we go. We're seeing it now.
You said it. This is going to be the last stop for these drivers.
Money stop.
It is. Cannot make a mistake. No speeding. Get off pit road the right way.
Now remember, the 48 car, and my colleague Steve just hinted on it a while back. He pitted on lap number 91. He was the last car to pit amongst anybody else. And the strategy here is to try to go on 2 stops. That's it. It's going to be a gamble, but we'll see if we can pull it off.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really close. The more I'm seeing it, I don't think he can make it, but man, I'm sure he's going to try. But it's, yeah, tough to see, but just never know.
More cars pitting. Brandon Frontapple on pit road. Brian Ruzi on pit road. So is Robert Kahn. Hank Caston. Money stop time for all of these drivers coming in. It's 4 tires and fuel. 30 on pit road. There's Brandon Frontapple again. And while that goes on, it is Tucker out in front. Correa 8 seconds back, Steve, to the leader Tucker now. Yeah. There's the interval right there.
Yeah, it's far for sure. I mean, Tucker right now, again, has this thing pretty well locked up. Correa's not really catching him, but still have to pit here. You still can't make a mistake. And here he comes, I believe. Dalton Tucker coming down pit road. Slow that puppy down.
Money stop for the 21 on lap number 109. He comes down to the pit lane. Everyone else is pilling on the pit road. This is in favor of the 48. Alex Muscarola, he is now still on track, and he is slowly climbing up the scoring pylon. I think this is going to put him up to 3rd whenever he crosses the line here now, Steve.
If you're Matthew Correa, do you take 2 tires here? I like a 2-tire stop here for Matthew Correa if he decides to do it. Right sides only. Doesn't do
That's
it.
Smart. He took 4 tires. He did.
Right there.
By the way.
Yeah, I'm taking 2 tires there, Wesley.
Amazing. 25 to go, by the way. 25 laps to go if you're joining us round 7 here tonight at Chicagoland. This was the audible race because we were scheduled to run Martinsville tonight. They decided to say, nope, we're going to run Chicagoland instead. And the reason what I was told in my morning prep for preparing for these race broadcasts with No Limit Racing, Steve, and they probably told you the exact same thing, was we want to have green flag racing. We fear Martinsville will be another wreck fest with these cars.
Yes, sir. And man, right now I think it's the right call, to be honest, because this race has been fire. As we're seeing, Barrett Morton having a quiet race right now in P3. Look at that paint scheme. Love that. Riley's Roses for cystic fibrosis. Great foundation right there. Have to get the word out. Looking pretty sharp today. But yeah, real quick, Wesley, one more topic. Man, if I'm Matthew Correa right there on that pit stop, I'm taking 2 tires. I'm taking 2 right side tires. I'm going to close that gap a bit and see if that can get me that lead, or at least close enough to it. But he decided against it.
Yes, sir. Interact with us in our race day chat box, everybody, as we're closing in on under 25 to go in this race. Let us know who you're riding with. Who's your pick? Do you think we'll see a caution over under on yes or no for that? And obviously, who will be the man that goes to victory lane right now? Chevrolet Performance number 29, Dakota Long back out in front again. We know he's got a pit, though. Last time he was on pit road was lap 81. 80 for Montgomery. 91 for Muscarella, the 48 car. He's 21 seconds back, Steve, to that man right now leading as they're trying to now put Long around on front apple to lap at least the top 10. 9 cars on the racetrack. 20 to go here in the virtual Windy City. By the way, don't forget, next Thursday night, we rock and roll again. We move into another race event. And, of course, that will be... Oh, where are we going to be at?
I believe it's Charlotte.
Charlotte. Yeah, man. Charlotte. Hello, Wesley. Charlotte. Charlotte next, of course, Thursday night. Unless they call an audible and change it up. I hope they don't. I hope we at least go to one short track. I hope we go to Richmond, Steve. I like short tracks, but I know, and listen, if you're a fan of NASCAR, you know how the real world is with the short track package with these next-gen cars. It sucks. I don't want to mince words. I don't want to make anybody mad. I announced the races for NASCAR. NASCAR signs my paycheck on occasions, but I will tell you that bottom line, this car has not been a fan of anybody of the world of short track racing, and that was the reason why they pulled the plug and said, okay.
Yeah, and especially with North Wilkesboro this weekend, we'll see what happens there. Fresh pavement, and man, we'll see how that how it ends up.
Charlotte should be fun. By the way, I believe we're understanding somebody got a penalty. Tate got a penalty. How big was that for Christopher Tate in '94? That's heartbreaking for him, especially how good he was there. No, Steve, for sure. Yeah,
getting word that Christopher Tate, just to get you back on that, he had a speeding penalty on his pit stop, and obviously that would have killed his race, so he just said, you know what, we'll come back next week.
Yeah. But here's the deal, though, and this is the only thing that I kind of find a little frustrating in that is he parked it. He does have one win in the year. He is in the top 12 for the playoffs, but he was already 8th. If he doesn't do, I mean, he did win last week, so obviously what a climb, but you don't want to put yourself outside that top 12 window for points. But right. I think if you win a race, you go to the playoffs, right?
I believe so, yes, and please don't quote me, but yeah, I believe that is the case. But that's a good point, what we just talked about. Actually, we're seeing Muscarella having some pretty big right side damage here on his car, man. That's a tough break there, but yeah, to your point, I mean, Tate was in a great spot. We talked about the money stops, right? You can't make a mistake, you can't speed, things like that, and that took a top 3 away, and unfortunately that can happen right here, but more cars down pit road, Montgomery
on pit road, giving up that second position in the Superflow car. But man, I'm just telling you, look at how strong the 21 is, man. He's so darn fast with 15 to go. He flew by Muscarella.
Yeah. And
he is now 13 seconds back to the leader Long. And I'm just going to say this. Don't overreach, kid. Dalton Tucker, hold your line. Stay where you're at. You're going to win this race because we know Dakota Long is going to have to come to pit road. He's going to have to.
Yep.
Alex Muscarella is the only driver that could be in the crosshairs of fuel mileage gambling to battle with Tucker for the win. But honestly, and here comes Long on pit road. He is pitting. We knew it was going to happen. And Tucker, as I was going to say, has already, Steve, bypassed Dalton Tucker, bypassed Alex Muscarella. Alex just got to be hoping he gets a podium finish here for second.
Yeah, if he can make it, though, that's the thing, right? 13 laps to go. This is a good play for Muscarella. Obviously, it wasn't the winning play, but definitely, maybe by doing this, got a better finish, potentially, than he would have by actually racing the entire way, right? I'm always the kind of guy who likes the offensive strategy versus the defensive, right? So give me some, give me some fresh tires. If I have to drive through some guys, then great. But saving fuel is not usually my forte. And either way, hey, might work out for him, though. P2 right now, but Peterson, still a great day today. About to pass him, though, for P2.
Muscarella is now only 9 seconds back to the leader of Tucker. And not for long, it's the High Rock Vodka Machine Ford up on, or Toyota on the outside lane for Badger Racing. Grant Peterson has just easily sliding away. It's Muscarella. He's just hoping for a podium finish. And Tucker, man, Dalton Tucker looking for win number 3, most wins of anybody if he pulls it off, and he's in the home stretch of this thing here now.
He sure is. 11 laps to go with a 10-second lead. Super impressive job so far.
And Steve, let me add on to this as well as they're getting ready to come to the line. Caution free, mind you, with 10 laps to go. He can, I'm not saying, conserve, but he can actually not be as fast as he's going around the racetrack. I mean, you've got a 10-second lead gap on Tucker for Peterson, for the driver Korea. You take advantage of that, but I honestly don't think Tucker needs to worry about it because he's got 4 tires. He's got fuel in the tank. He's just going to run out there and give it all he's got. Now, mind you, if this was a fuel strategy run, then yes, I would definitely been doing something of that caliber, but not now with him being clearly out in front. 9 to go, by the way.
Yes, sir. Man, what a race. I just can't say enough, right? What a great race. I mean, obviously, me personally, I'm not a big fan of schedules changing mid-season, but obviously this one right here was a good call, a great audible. Sometimes it has to happen, right? You kind of forecast the season, obviously, and then the season happens, and then you're like, yeah, you know what, maybe we should change it up, and they did, and what a great call by the leadership for the league. It just goes to show what kind of league this is, right? They know what they're doing, and just a great race, obviously. 43 drivers, caution-free. Just very, very impressive.
And this race coming down to the end of it. 7 laps to go when they come to the line. 8 to go now with Tucker still the man out in front leading the way in that Dark Star Garage Chevrolet number 21. Peterson in the Toyota second. Couple of Fords with Korea and Works. A Chevrolet with Front Apple in the top 5. There you see them on the screen. 7 laps to go. Let's pick up the leader, Tucker, in his own world, picking him up and putting him down. And I gotta say again, I kudos to your point, and I check it off and concur. Mad props to these guys, man. 40 some odd cars out here on the racetrack at one time, Steve, and these guys minded their P's and Q's. There was strategy, obviously, in this race. No wrecks. I want to prove something. You ain't got to have races where you're crashing and tearing cars up all the time to have a really good show. And, mind you, maybe people might think tonight's race was a snooze fest. I'm not saying that it was in any way, because it was a strategy between tire consumption, fuel fall off, fuel gambling. Look at Muscarella still out here with 5 to go. He ain't pitted yet since lap 91. A lot of strategies and scenarios made this race interesting here at the end.
Yeah, and right here, and just like we talked about earlier, right? I mean, this comes down to, drivers who might not have the raw speed a lot. They're showing up today because the green flag pit stops and the green flag racing, saving tires. Look at this. I mean, Grant Peterson, what an awesome job today by doing that. We're seeing Chris Muth up here in P6. Robert Kahn, 8th place. Just super impressive runs by guys who might not always be in that top 5, top 10, but they're getting it done today.
Steve will carry you the rest of the way, ladies and gents, for post-race. As I have another broadcast obligation in mere minutes, I'll take you to the checkered flag, however, Steve. And man, I can't believe it. They ran 200 miles in an hour and close to 13 minutes. Amazing.
Super impressive.
3 to go at the line for Tucker. There's Peterson. There's your leader. There's the interval. Peterson open it up more. Losing ground on the leader. There goes the Build Submarine subs, not sandwiches. Car number 17 right there.
And real quick, too, I mean, what a huge day here for Brian Works. I mean, up 22 spots in the day, a P4. Didn't look like he had that great of a job, a race really earlier on. We mentioned how he was in 22nd early. But, man, he has just fought and fought and fought all race long. And here he is, P4. What a great, great recovery.
I'm going to build the submarine. What do you think, Steve? We build a submarine?
I think we build a race day
submarine.
submarine.
The winning team. Build a race day submarine.
it's just all red, you know?
Little red, little flag right there, little hype. I just think it's funny that somebody thought I was about making a sandwich. Oh, time is running out, ladies and gentlemen. Final lap of the race for the driver, Dalton Tucker. The name is Dalton. Remember that quote from the movie Roadhouse? And Dalton for the, of course, No Limit Racing League, working down the back straightaway. Flag to flag, caution free. He will now pick up his 3rd win of the year, going on with 4 top 5s, 4 top 10s. Dalton Tucker wins it here in Chicagoland. Peterson, where are you? Let's find the 54. Give him his credit where credit's due. The 2nd place man just crossing the line and will finish in the 2nd position. Korea 3rd. 4th to Wirtz. Good comeback for Brian Wirtz, by the way. It's been a kind of a up and down dismal year. Brandon Frontapple, the Virginian of the Commonwealth, gets a solid top 5 finish. And Steve Tucker, caution free. I can't believe it, man.
Yeah, just really, really impressive job by everybody here in No Limit Racing. 43 drivers. Man, just cannot believe it, but impressive run. Dalton Tucker going to burn him down for the 3rd time this season.
Next week, we are going to Charlotte Motor Speedway in preparation of, obviously, the Coca-Cola 600 Memorial Day Classic. That's where we'll be next, of course, Thursday night for a 200-lapper. In addition, Richmond, tentatively, unless they change the short track schedule again, Homestead, the final 3 races in the push to the playoffs for the No Limit Racing Extreme Graphic Next Gen Series. Big thanks to, of course, Powder Coat Plus, Butt Kicker. Thanks to Extreme Graphics, No Limit Racing, and Race Day, and IMB Racewear as well. For Steve Tucker, this is Wesley Outland. Post-race is coming up. Next, we'll grab Dalton Tucker, the winner. Well, actually, Steve will. The winner tonight, caution-free at Chicagoland. I'm Wesley Outland. I look forward to seeing you at Virtual Charlotte next week. Be good to one another. God bless you all.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the conclusion of No Limit Racing here in Chicagoland. Flag to flag coverage was all green today. No cautions at all. And Matthew Correa is your third place finisher. We're going to talk to him first real quick. Let's bring him in real fast. Once we track him down, where's Matthew Correa? Man, what just a super impressive performance by so many of these guys. We're gonna try and track him down here. Don't see him actually on the old Discord as we do here. Matthew Correa. Well, unfortunately, we maybe cannot talk to him today. Might not be available, but either way, a P3, great job for him. Don't see him available, so we'll just skip right on past him. All good, but a great job there for him. Grant Peterson, there he is in that 54. Super good job for him. Let's bring him in real fast. There he is, Grant Peterson in that 54. Man, what a great job today, rolling off in that P2 spot, the high rock number 54, dude. How'd you get it done today? Must be tired. Long green flag race.
Yeah, I mean, that's the longest green flag run I think I've been a part of with this car. Yeah, P7, I was kind of minding my own my own P's and Q's throughout the whole race. Try not to overdrive it. I'm really bad at burning my tires up, and I feel like this is a track where you can easily burn your tires up, but I feel like I managed that well throughout all three runs that we had, and just kind of worked my way up towards the end of each run. It helped. I mean, saving tires that's the way to go, and P2 is nothing to hang my head on. I feel like this is the best race I've put together in my entire league racing career, if you'd say.
Yeah, man, really, really impressive. Obviously, Chicagoland can be pretty tricky, but you did that job today quite well. So, real quick, give us your shout-outs if you have any. Sponsors, friends, and family. Who do you got?
Yeah, guys down at, what is it, NASCAR Esports. Barrett Morton, Ryan Dingler, and myself. Yeah, we've come from different races, different league races. Been hanging out a long time, and special shout out to Holden, Anthony Musati. They're probably watching or running laps around some other track, going faster than I am. Yeah, and obviously everyone who's put effort into this league, and this was by far one of the best races I've been a part of. And obviously you guys for broadcasting.
Hey, yes, sir, man. Great job again. We'll catch you next week at Charlotte. Awesome job, dude.
Thank you.
There he is, man. Grant Peterson got the job done today, P2, but we're going to bring in the man again, Dalton Tucker, in that 21. Let's sneak him in here. Here he is. Dalton Tucker today gets the job done. The man with the same name as me. Man, what a great job today. Third time this season as a winner in that 21 Capital Materials machine, man. Looking good again today. How'd you do it? Long green race, obviously. Must be tired a little bit. How'd it go for you?
Yeah, I was torn on this setup because it was so tight. I was like, it's either going to go caution free and kind of just be side by side, or it's just going to be people pushing up into each other. And right. The racing was extremely good. I started 11th, worked my way kind of through everybody. Got with Tate, we kind of changed first and second early in that first run. And the race, it's just hard to pass. It was, right. If we could have stayed close together, I think I would have been right there with second place. It would have just kind of kept everybody together. But clean track just, it really opened it up for me, and I could save and kind of do what I needed to.
Yeah, we noticed the high line didn't come in maybe as we thought it would. Is that because of the high heat, or is it just not a lot of grip up there?
To be honest, all the practice I did this week, I ran nothing but the low line, and the top line just never had any grip. You could lift early and it would just push straight. But the first run, I saw Tate and a couple other guys kind of going in a little high, kind of middle to high, and then kind of exiting middle to low, and I was like, that's working pretty good. And then I kind of adapted to that line throughout the whole race, and I was able to save better each run, and just, I don't know if the top would have been better. In 3 and 4, I kind of stuck to the bottom. if nobody was outside of me. But with someone outside of you, you got to get to their outside. Otherwise, you're gonna kill your tires.
Yes, sir. Looks pretty good today, obviously. Third win. Looks like we see Harpoon Design on the side of the car, so one of our great sponsors here for race day. So looking good in Victory Circle in the donuts, man. Great job again today. Next week at Charlotte should be a lot of fun, too. We'll see you then. Go celebrate, dude.
Appreciate it, man.
There he is, Dalton Tucker, doing what he does, and he wins, man. 3 wins on the season today in the 21 with the Capital Materials Incorporated on the hood. I don't believe I actually asked him what his sponsors are, and really wants to thank, so I apologize for that. But, man, Capital Materials on the side of the car. There it is. Take a look. Very, very cool stuff for sure. So, big time race today, all green flag racing. And we saw one hell of a race today, folks. Sometimes green flag races can be fun too, and it was a good change of pace today. Real quick, we'll show you how they ended. There it is right there on the side of your screen. But that'll be it for us for race day. My name is Steve. Been a great race. Next week, Charlotte. Be ready for that. But also, too, keep in mind, next Monday is the Nora Truck Series. We'll be back in action for them on Monday night at 9 p.m. And then stick around for Tuesday for the ASRA Cup Series presented by Harpoon Design. That'll be the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro. That'll be a lot of fun. Pretty cool format. And that'll be at 9 p.m. as well. So join us Monday and Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on the channel. For now, though, folks, have a good night. God bless and take care. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.